When I told my family that I want to become a monk, it was a big problem actually, because I was married and I had 4 children, and I have them still. But I did it bit by bit. So the first time I came here for a month, and then a year later for 2 or 3 months. And then it was clear that my wife and myself want to fill in their life in a different way.
When I decided to become a novice, my mother and stepfather came along to the ordination ceremony. My mother had sponsored the robes, which meant that she'd provided the money to buy any clothing and material I needed, and actually gave me the robes as part of the ceremony. So she was fully involved with that whole act.
I thought that there was more potential in this life, and I didn't want to waste it by just living for myself. There was a strong need to be part of something that I respected and saw the value of.
Most of the time I discovered that life is a filling in of desires, you know. You want something, and in the best case you have it, and there is some joy, but you can never maintain that peak. After filling in a desire, a new desire comes up, and all of a sudden I realized my life is like burning in that direction, and it's never really satisfied for me.
My family has been very supportive of what I'm doing, and I'm really very grateful for that. I think it would have been much harder if they'd opposed what I was doing, just because I've known some people whose families have been critical of what they're doing, and so it creates more of a struggle for them. It's as if they have to almost reject their family or go against, what the family's expecting from them.
There hasn't been a lot of resistance to me joining the community, maybe also because I'm quite mature. I was 38 when I came to the monastery. Both of my parents were already dead, so it was mainly my main family is my 2 brothers and my sister. I also felt quite guilty first, strange feeling. I felt I was abandoning people. And I wasn't quite sure how my relationship with friends was going to work out, how difficult it was going to be to maintain a contact, how much they would be able to relate to what I was doing here. But I do see it as something that they can also benefit from, because I see this lifestyle as something that really benefits the world as such, something there's too little of in the world.
Well, the hardest thing to give up when I went to a monastery is family life, because I was not miserable in the world, as we call it, or in a family, and I like family life very much. And I still cherish it, actually, It's a very nice way of living. But again, it's not what I want to develop in myself at this moment in my life.
When I was a layman, I used to enjoy going to concerts and art galleries, And this was all part of my sort of search for some meaning, for some beauty in life. What I found from being in the monastery is that it's possible to start to experience that beauty and joy internally, and also through human relationship, through community. And so it's no longer so important to me to go out to external things.
When I came to the monastery, I was already 38 years old, so I think I'd already decided that I wasn't going to have a family. It was a bit, it's like I'd had the opportunity and the draw had never been that strong. So it really didn't seem like I was giving that up. But it's hard to tell whether in a few years I'll miss having different kinds of relationships.
At first, the idea of living a celibate life can seem very challenging, and there's the wish to have the relationship with a particular person, with a special person. There's a wish to experience the sort of full sort of physical joy and delight that there is from sexual activity. Living in the monastery, over time, it's possible to start to realise that that sexual energy is just energy. It doesn't have to be focused in the sexual act. You can actually start to experience a tremendous sense of joy and well-being in meditation and throughout the day.
I've never regretted coming to the monastery. It's been an incredible time for me these past 3.5 years. I felt my life being very enriched and my understanding of who I am, my place in the world, what the world is, and also my ability to relate to people, to situations in the world, my ability to actually acknowledge the reality around me has been enhanced. So I've very much felt that I'm coming more alive.
People often ask me if I'm going to remain a monk all my life, and I can't really answer that. I can say that right now this is what I want to be doing, and that I find it helpful to be living this sort of life. I certainly envisage living as a monk for the future. There aren't other things that I sort of have a strong calling to go and do, but I can't really know what will happen in a few years' time, and what other things may present themselves.
When you adopt something and you say you have to do that for the rest of your life, all of a sudden there is some fear or some idea, well, That's quite hard to do. So, and that's the beauty of being an anagarika. You have to make a step for 1 year. And you can oversee more or less a year. A year is not a big thing. And after a year, I just can reflect whether this life is suitable for me or not. But the idea to do this the rest of my life, you know, it doesn't go through my mind.
There's a lot of madness in the world. To me, this seems very much like a place of sanity. And just to be able to be part of offering that, of just making that space available, seems like in itself, no matter what I achieved on a personal level, to be able to be part of that was something of just, it's beautiful.
Looking back, I'm immensely pleased that I decided to come to the monastery. It's provided a way of me really starting to look within myself and open to an experience of well-being and joy that I never thought would be possible. Something I longed for, and as a child I'd sort of stand underneath the stars at night and look up and think, well, what's this all about? Surely there's some purpose or meaning to this life, and I'm not just here to grow old and die. Surely there's something more, and this way of life has provided a way to start exploring that.